You're watching my favorite YouTube channel. It's Chill Manga. I'm going to jump over to Straw Hat Goofy, who interviewed Ryan Coogler. He referred to the child Toussaint as the future. It's open for interpretation. Let's hear how it went down.
For sure. All right.
Here it is. Let's listen in.
I want to quickly ask about this and then get to the next center's question. But like in terms of like,
by the way, that's awesome that he is going to switch gears into the Black Panther, even though he knows he's here to promote the sinners. And Ryan Coogler was willing to go there with the
like children and like them looking up to like the adults around their life. Like I clocked something in your two Black Panther films is that both of those films end with a child looking up at the current Black Panther.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to me about the psychology behind that, because like I really like, you know, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, this is the perfect way to end this film. It's like you have this young black boy looking at his hero, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you had like, you know, T'Challa 2 in that movie looking up at
T'Challa 2? I know that's what it says on the Marvel database website. We will refer to the boy as what his mother referred. Nakia, what'd you call him?
This is my son, Toussaint.
His mama call him Toussaint. I'm gonna call him Toussaint.
The perfect way to end this film. It's like you have this young black boy looking at his hero, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you had, like, you know, T'Challa 2 in that movie looking up at
Shuri.
You know what I'm saying? So like, talk to me about the like psychology between those two.
Talk to us. Think about it.
I mean, it's hard to say, bro, because I'm removed from making those movies.
Okay. Understand. Good.
Interesting.
Hold on.
We found that for the first Panther.
That's a news story. It's difficult to talk. I'm removed from those movies. I thought, and I still believe, that he had an emotional impulse reaction, and that is why T'Challa had to die in that movie, and why they wouldn't continue. The greatest black character that's ever happened in the history of cinema, the most profitable one, the most inspirational one, and it's just all-around role model leader that existed from the 60s, and Chadwick Boseman tried to make really big and elevate and build on the momentum, but no, they decided to cut that out. I thought it was an emotional response. I like knowing he's taken 4 years off. Not 4 years, 3 years off. Good. Ryan, keep taking some more time and then reassess it and be like, how are we going to do Black Panther without the main character? There's an answer within that, and I'm not reaching for straws. Keep going, Straw Hat Goofy.
I'm removed from making those movies.
Right.
It's interesting because we found that ending for the first Panther, and then for the second Panther, we always knew that was how it was going to end. You know, but yeah, like I think, you know, ending looking towards the future.
Absolutely.
You know, I think because so much of
that's what gets me in the ending, looking towards the future. Now, we knew the second Panther would end that way. With, you know, this is just Shuri is going to be the Black Panther of this movie. And he's saying we knew that Toussaint would now be king of Wakanda, get the mantle, get trained up, get everything. And it's just as good as having the real main character of the franchise. You know, we can just substitute one guy in. And I think that's dangerous. And I've spoken about it in a long time. If this is the first time you're watching me, I'll speak to it just really quickly. The reason why Bruce Wayne, the reason why Clark and Superman, the reason why all these guys are so popular is because we continuously got these characters over and over. We never stopped it and said, let's substitute somebody else in that role for a couple movies, and then, you know, we'll go back to the original guy. We want a black, like a melanated person to be in the lead position of a franchise and be peers with those characters. And we can't do that with starting and stopping, hot potatoing who gets to be the main character of that franchise. That's not the precedence that 60 years of comics have set. The mantle only switches like within years, canonically, generations, you know, so Black Panther's dad, Black Panther's grandfather, that. But Marvel Comics takes place in Marvel present, where a sliding timeline exists, meaning characters are not aging. Whatever happened in a comic from the 60s, that's the same time. We just go, oh yeah, Spider-Man got bit. That was about, 10, 13 years ago? You know, that's why he's only in his mid-20s. So every time something happens, we go, oh, that just recently happened. So Captain America comes out of ice. Dog, they made that comic book in the 60s. But if I read a Captain America comic book today, they're talking about him getting out of ice. That just happened 10, 15 years ago. That's how time works. So the primary character of this franchise is him. It is T'Challa. And we can't be so okay with the disposing this character, replacing the character, stand-ins, and everything. Like, T'Challa is it. That's why I'm so that's the short version for everyone. And that's not going to cover everything. And I'm sure someone's going to complain. What do you mean? The legacy of the character continues. Or it's disrespectful to Chad. I've heard interviews of his brother saying, Chadwick Boseman's brother saying, nah, the character's more important, what he means for children, how important this guy is. It's more significant than just the role. They didn't kill Superman when Christopher Reeve had an accident. It's not insensitive at all. It is an emotional response from Ryan Coogler to do what he did. And it was the wrong one. Racially speaking, for the progression of an ethnicity, for the humanization of dark skin and having a character being on peer, like there's Halloween parties, everyone's going, who's going to be that superhero? Who's going to be that superhero? Who's going to be Black Panther? It's just normal. White kids dressing. Anyways, that's an important thing. Calling him the future, though, is strange to me. And it's open for interpretation if you believe he meant it the way I hope he doesn't mean it. He's going to continue on now. And he's going to something's going to flare up. That this is a character who existed before Chad played him. This is a long-time character. And then maybe that feels different for some people. Watch this.
No, so much of these movies are about that, man.
Yeah.
Are about the,
are about yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like nostalgia, right? I meet,
nostalgia.
I just seen a critic out of Chicago, man, E-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a T'Challa shirt on.
I'll put that up in a second.
A shirt of T'Challa knocking out the Klan. You know what I'm saying, on his shirt. And the thing is like, he's my age. He's like, I think he's 40. But like, I'm sure his first interaction with that character was when he was a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have somebody who's 40, and a relationship with this character goes back, 30 years.
Right, yes.
Right.
With this character.
And it's always about, I think he's going to be a bigger fan of that than somebody who met the character when they was 30.
Right. Absolutely. The relationship is a little bit deeper.
It's just it's always with those mythic characters.
So what are you going for? Always with those mythic characters, what? Yes, the relationships that you formed, the longer you've been with the character, the more it means to you, as opposed to maybe the guys who just saw it on a movie and go, oh, Black Panther, and maybe they're more okay with disposing the character. Is that what he's going for? Keep going.
It's always about, like, I think the interaction of the youth, and the youth who grow up with this myth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to those who discover it late in life.
Yes.
Yeah. Jumping back into Sinners, something that I wanted to talk to you at the junket, but we didn't get.
They jump back to Sinners, and it's a good interview, and he talks to Chadwick Boseman stuff. I just wish I could have gotten a little bit more than just what he gave me there. It feels like he was going to talk about the importance of people who know the character for time, people who grew up with the character, and how they can have a level of relationship with T'Challa. And I think like he gave a little gleam of light of hope that he knows exactly who T'Challa is, how important T'Challa is, and it's not just a name you slap on people. He just didn't get all the way there. And this is not proof, this is not a hint, this is not a clue that Toussaint is no longer the idea anymore, and the idea is to truly recast and have T'Challa back. This is, again, grasping at straws and overanalyzing interview answers, which is all we're going to be able to do until the dude finally says, I'm going to recast. The shirt that he was talking about from E-Man, here's the image of that T-shirt where Black Panther is taking out the Klan. That's what Ryan Coogler was talking about. And I'm going to jump to E-Man's stream and just play a portion of it, which is very relevant to this conversation.
But at the same time, we do respect one another. And I appreciate him for that.
Okay.
So I asked this question.
What did you ask?
Because since he already knew that I spoke to Nate Moore, it didn't make sense. And keep in mind, my time is ticking at this point to ask him or talk to him about recast T'Challa. No need for that. He already knows that.
You didn't say that. Tell me you didn't just say that.
That was for you, Lawrence. You asked. I just don't think E-Man is the asset to recast T'Challa that I considered him, or hope that he could have been. Face-to-face with Ryan Coogler, do what Straw Hat Goofy did. You guys are talking about Sinners, and then you throw in something, you talk about recasting T'Challa. If you're not even going to, like, I thought I was expecting to come in here being like, hey, I saw an interview with E-Man. Ryan Coogler dodged another question. Let's just analyze how he escaped answering this. We didn't even ask him. He asked him, what's the future of Marvel going to be like? Oh, well, the Russos are doing something. can't talk about the future. I think Ryan Coogler is going to do a couple more interviews and a couple more brave people who are not worried about jeopardizing their safe reputation or whatever reasons exist not to ask about recast T'Challa. I think that there are going to be many interviewers who are going to be face to face with Coogler and ask recast T'Challa and not ask about recast T'Challa during the Sinners interview. And he's open. He feels like he's like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, amazing, yeah, that's right. Every time someone goes, let me shift over to Black Panther, it doesn't feel like it feels like he's putting on a front, because he does seem to laugh a whole lot every time he's asked, but at least ask the guy. When he's asked about it this time, he referred to Toussaint as T'Challa 2. Straw Hat Goofy has been brainwashed, and we need to cleanse him of his brain and not call him T'Challa 2. I'm saying that jokingly, by the way. I don't know Straw Hat Goofy, but I respect him for asking that. The interviewers to come with 4 days left until Friday may bring up T'Challa more. They might do the thing where, when they're sitting down on a couch, it's all black behind them, it's bring curtains, and it's just a movie poster. Let's talk about the movie. There's going to be more opportunities for Ryan Coogler to give us more insight on what Toussaint is. Ryan, do you still feel the way you felt earlier when you said Chad and T'Challa were attached and that you couldn't believe in a movie script without him, and therefore you wouldn't do the movie? Is that where your mindset is still? It's not hard to ask that question. Hey, Ryan Coogler, man, you didn't recast T'Challa the first time. Are you open to recasting T'Challa now? If he's in front of Van Lathan, that's going to come up. I think that we're at the, right before Star Wars Celebration. This week is going to be very Black Panther for us, for our fan base. Very Black Panther big. We might get some news off of Sinners. He's going to be in front of a bunch of cameras and microphones, and I'm real happy that he's not been in the mental state of Black Panther like he admitted in that interview. He's been removed for it for so long. Maybe a clearer head can come in and say, I understand the representation factor, and I get how damaging it could be to just have a filler of a Black Panther character. This character is not going to exist in reboots. They're not making video games about this guy. You go play Marvel Rivals, you're playing with Black Panther. The Black Panther. T'Challa, and not his son. I'm going to leave you with that. There's some people streaming right now. The Dre Max Show, Planet Fanatics, Spoiler Kings. Go support them. I'm chill. I'm out. Please thumbs me up.